Welcome back, folks, here on another episode of the Believe in FCS Football podcast. I'm Joe DeLeone, joined by Sean Anderson, coming at you after the Super Bowl. Sean, how's it going?
I obviously didn't have as good of a week as you did, or 2 weeks. You have been all over the place.
I don't know if good is the right word. It's been overly busy.
Oh, you did stuck in Alabama for a day? Longer than you needed to be?
Well, yeah, I was there for a little bit longer, and then
Oh.
I can't do the 2 week with no turnaround time. Like I went from one thing to then Radio Row and literally no break, waking up at 6 a.m., being done at I don't know, I was finishing editing stuff at 8 on some days.
Waking up at 6 a.m. and then going to practice.
No, that's a different kind of.
How does that feel? How does that feel thinking about it?
I can't compare what I did at practice to what you did at practice.
Yeah,
so my experience.
It's finally come out. It's been everybody. We've done this show for 2.5 years. It's finally been admitted.
I have never said what I did in practice was difficult. I've always agreed that it was a fucking walkthrough.
Was it 3 years? 4?
I think it's 3. I don't even know anymore. 2.5. 2.5 at this point.
I thought it was longer than that.
No, it's 3 coming up in March.
Yeah.
3 coming up in March.
That's right. So my timeline's not too off. What about Radio Row? I know you have an idea for how the show's going to go, but I'm just going to ask you about what you've been doing, because you have not communication with me at all.
What do you mean? I have over texted you as much as I possibly could have over the past week.
Let me scroll some of these texts and I'll read them.
I felt like a dick because I was texting you too much about the people I was talking to you.
Well, let's see here.
At one point I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this so much. I felt like I was rubbing it in because I was talking to people.
Read that on the show.
Yeah, a lot of those you can't, especially the most recent thing I texted you about.
The listeners are gonna hate me for saying I'll read these, and then I'm not going to.
We're gonna get a message from Colin asking what one of them was. No. Okay, so
what's his accent? What would he?
Colin?
Yeah,
Colin needs to send us a voice message. I would like to find out.
He could send you one. I'd prefer not to hear it. I like to remain a mystery.
He'll be a caller one day when the show gets bigger. But I got to talk to all these really cool people. I did interviews with like Nick Mangold and at Judon.
He looked good.
Who Mangold?
Yeah.
He
looked really good.
He's in good shape for a former offensive lineman who's making barbecue sauce, for that
and also that would be a difficult. That'd be a difficult vice to stay away from. I'd say if I'm just constantly surrounded by barbecue sauce, I'm like, oh well,
yeah.
What could this go on? A Ritz cracker? Sure, why not?
The crazy thing with him is that he's selling his own barbecue sauce, and then he's the one making it, which is so cool. Because and I said this to him when we were interviewing him, because most guys will just slap their name on a product that somebody else makes, but he's literally producing the barbecue sauce.
I don't like that your head is higher up than mine. How do I change that?
I get a smaller head.
God. It's like you're in the power position. I don't like that. Okay, you met Nick Mangold. Who else did you mess around? Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Well, and then there's a bunch of other random people that just interacted with, like Diplo and Todd Gurley, Debo Samuel, Pac-Man Jones. I picked them up from the airport. Yeah, Pac-Man.
You picked up Pac-Man?
I think he spilled something in my car, and I don't know where it is or what it was. The only reason why I think that he did is that he was sitting behind me, and I heard him go, "Oh shit!" and I heard something fall, and then I felt something splash my neck. But Pac-Man didn't say it. He didn't go, "Hey man, I spilled something." All I heard was, "Oh shit!" and then he just went about what he was doing. He was on the phone.
Oh my God, is that funny?
He's such a nice guy. So I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be oh, he was a dick. But he spilled something in my car, and
you care about your car very much. We weren't allowed to eat when you. New listeners, Joe is as particular about his car, and it's the worst car I've ever ridden in, and it's a bad car, and he is so particular about not letting things get dirty on it. He wouldn't, in the summertime with the windows down, he would be wary of where my hands were on the car because he didn't want me to leave.
My old car was a black car, and you got your big meaty claws. You got fingerprints on the car.
Meaty claws.
All right, I think we have some actual sports.
No. What do you? Come on.
Okay. The last
thing. What are you talking about? So people have been dying. You You got to
Right,
tweet blow
right.
up. What rush are you in? What do we have to talk? We're just filling time today. Sorry to break it to everybody.
True.
This is filling time.
I didn't want our
This is a
listeners
filler
to be
episode.
impatient with the combine invites. No, you're right, Sean. The last thing on Friday. So I found out we knew Pat McAfee was there because when you're walking into Pat
McAfee. Okay.
Pat McAfee was there, and when you walked into Radio
Pat
Row,
McAfee, I like him.
His stage was right near the entrance, so you saw him, and he was the loudest person in all of Radio Row. The whole room was enormous, and you could pretty much hear his whole show over anybody else's. And Sirius, Fox Sports, they were all there, CBS Sports Radio, and I knew he was there. I didn't think it would be possible for us to get an interview with him, but Nick, one of the other people that was there with us, approached him and said, like, hey, are you going to be doing any walk-arounds, doing any interviews? And he said, probably on Friday at the end of the day. So he left, not thinking he was going to come back. Somebody told me that he was supposed to come back an hour later, so we hung around a little bit. He comes back. We track him down. He sits down to do an interview with us to talk to the two Texas guys about Texas football, and then he turns to me because I hadn't said anything because he was turned and facing and talking to the Texas guys, and he's like, "Oh, you've been awfully quiet," and like we started bringing up specialist stuff, and Nick goes, "Oh, Joe brought a football with him because he wants you to catch a snap from him."
Is that really what happened?
Yeah, it was in the middle of the interview. Why? I was going to ask him, but he jumped the gun and asked for me. But so then at the end of the interview,
it's a tad hack. It's a wee bit hack.
Right. I didn't want to do it during the interview. I didn't want to do it. Yeah, right.
I know. I'm with you. It's a cool experience. Wee bit hack.
I wasn't the one who did it. I wasn't the one who did it. I was going to ask him afterwards, and I asked him afterwards. It was like, hey, or no, actually, I didn't even ask him. He lined up for it, ripped the ball, snapped the first one. He got excited. Then I snapped another one because he wanted me to send another one.
Okay. So the video that you posted,
yes,
at Joe DeLeone on Twitter, that was of the second snap or the first snap?
That was the first snap. And I think you could kind of tell with the people that were like walking over to see what the hell was going on. I think no one had any expectation of me to actually like send a real snap back there.
Yeah.
So for him and everyone around, everyone got all juiced up after I ripped the first one. The second one wasn't as good. It was a little wide.
Well, here's the thing. When we were in South Dakota, you ripped the snap that was over my head.
Yeah, that was a roller.
Most punters, I would say, aren't my size.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm catching for my sisters in softball and I make a big like if you can throw a pitch that's outside of my wingspan, but you're gonna hit the batter or the umpire or the back of the fence.
Be fair, I was violently hungover, and this past Friday when I did the McAfee snap, I was only a little bit hungover. So
you were violently hungover and also simultaneously drunk at the South Dakota State game.
That's true. Thankfully, I was not drunk at Radio Row.
Sure. Probably would have been more fun, though. Can you imagine just skipping 10 yards in front of them?
Oh, my God.
What would that reaction have been?
Right. So that was the one
I could do it. I can do it. I can't. Hold the drink. So this was I could do it. He's just walking away.
So embarrassing if I did that.
My God.
So embarrassing.
How great would that have been?
It would have been horrible. It would have been mortifying.
Local jackass wastes 15 minutes of mega media stars' time.
I was hoping he'd retweet me, but that didn't happen. But
nah,
I didn't need it.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about Cooper Kupp a little bit, and then we're going to react to this list of combine invites today. Before we do that, you and I both missed on our Rams -4 bet for different reasons, but it doesn't mean we can't let our listeners know about some sports betting with basketball and all the other sports.
Oh, is it my turn to start the read?
Yeah, it is your turn to start the read. Bet online, your online sportsbook expert.
Oh, that's obviously all right. Where do I start now that Joe? Okay, from latest odds. Okay, here we go.
Start mid-word and
okay. Over for this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website right now or use your mobile devices to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV to get started. And it's not just basketball. I know we got March Madness coming up. A lot of schools, Joe, getting steamed up, placing bets for March Madness. Also, I know we're FCS guys, so there's still a lot of teams that are getting action on there also. So why don't you take a look over there? BetOnline's your source for hockey for our fans in the Midwest, boxing for just, everybody else around the nation. I'm going to stop doing the geographical bit. UFC odds right to the Olympic coverage is the best in the business, from sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Okay, good taglines.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I know it's still there. What's more important than peace of mind? Nothing, and that's what NordVPN is here for.
Oh, there's one
to give you peace of mind while you're online. And with all of the threats that you face today on the internet, it is more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, most servers, and other next-gen encryption.
There's two.
You hear about and you talk to these old school radio guys, and they tell you about how they used to try to make each other laugh during reads, and it requires nothing for me to laugh. I don't know. Hearing stories, I don't know how anyone made it through reads. Plus NordVPN you can use on all of your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's ultimate bandwidth, I'm going to mute you. You never have to worry about a slow connection either, and plans start at under $4 per month. Go grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get up to 70% off your NordVPN Plus, one additional month for free. It's also low risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, we did it. We got through the read, Sean. Thanks.
Well, one of us got through the read.
All right, so Sean, Super Bowl is relevant to FCS.
So who would like that? Who's gonna like that at that company?
I hope that they don't go back and listen.
I hope that other shows just do them like professionals.
Well, we've had the occasional show that will like take a jab at us and then do the read, like that the company and do the read. Some of those shows are no longer with us. But
what do you mean they would take jabs at us? Where's that? Do we have some radio beef?
No, just like we'll like have people think it's funny. They'll make like a a comment about like maybe something being off with like the script or something like that. Or the worst one is we'll have the shows that'll go, I've never used this product, nor do I intend to, but which is like, why would you you don't need to specify that.
That's not necessarily what you want to do.
No. Sean, but the Super Bowl has some relevance.
Hey, I'm never getting married, but let me tell you about some diamonds that you might want. My first wife took everything, so I'm never doing it again. But here's the if I were to get married, which I won't, here's what you're gonna do. She cleaned me out.
Oh God. I enjoy being reckless online.
Living in my car for 2 weeks.
All right, no, wait. Here's one. I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose this or not. We actually had the Masterworks read last week was about not wasting money on betting, but instead spending it on Masterworks. And it's supposed to come right after the Bet Online read. And I was talking to Alex. I'm like, we can't send that to people. We can't.
Yeah, I'm getting everybody juiced up about putting down some parlays. You're like, all right, Sean, enough of that silliness.
I come in, yeah.
You're a moron if you're listening to Sean. Here's this product. Hey, idiot! Don't listen to this. Don't listen to this loser.
Oh man, 13 minutes in, we haven't even gotten on topic. Okay, Sean, the Super Bowl has a lot of relevance to us in the FCS landscape. The Rams have three FCS players off the top of my head. I think I might be missing
9 on roster. I think Craig Haley or some Sports Illustrated did it.
Troy Reeder, Rosenboom, Christian Rosenboom, and Cooper Kupp. Who am I missing?
They got another lineman. They got a D lineman. I think a nose tackle.
Okay, well, there are a bunch of FCS guys. But the big key one here is Cooper Kupp, who is our Super Bowl MVP. And there was a ton of recognition for Cooper Kupp and where he came from after winning that Super Bowl MVP. I think it's more than deserving to take some time to recognize that. And the one thing that popped in my head, and I was going to tweet it, but I was thinking like, this is going to be too wordy. I'm going to sound like such a hack trying to tweet it, but I would like to talk about this on the show.
Sure.
Is that Cooper Kupp is the fullest proof that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what level you play at. You could still go to the next level and produce high-level results. It was a farce that he slid as far as he did to the third round. He was a top performer at the Combine, top performer at the Senior Bowl, and still was a third-round pick. And now we're starting to see exactly what we all knew as followers of the FCS, a guy that broke every record imaginable for a receiver, multi-time All-American. We knew that he was capable of this stuff, and now the NFL is actually being exposed to it.
Yeah, there should be a statue in front of Eastern Washington, like by May, of him. Because we just saw what is arguably the greatest receiving season in NFL history. Now, Megatron playing in Detroit didn't make it to the playoffs. I know he didn't get to rack up all those yards. That's really the only other one that I think can compete with that. Because he had the record of most yards in a season, and it was in 16 games. Regardless, we just watched an FCS dude from Eastern Washington have maybe not maybe, a concrete top 3 season in NFL history. We can say what we want about Stafford, the amount of attempts, the offense that they ran. Put him on any team, man. Put that dude on any team. He's getting you over 1,000. He's getting you over 1,000, 10 touchdowns. That's just what he does.
Yeah.
And then how many people do they need to cover him? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And the crazy thing, too, that goes into his performance is that we saw how good that Rams offense was doing when OBJ was on the field. And they were both working in tandem together, but OBJ was taking advantage of the extra coverage. OBJ goes out, and for a good stretch, Cooper Kupp was not getting the football. But when he needed to step up in a really important spot, despite all that extra attention, he was able to work through that. And like you're saying, he's not a system guy. This is a guy that's going to succeed any position you put him in.
In the fourth quarter, there were 100 million people in the country that knew where the ball was going. People on the field knew where the ball was going. People that have just watched the game for the first time said, oh, hey, they're probably going to throw it to number 10 here. He's looked pretty good. Why couldn't anybody stop him? And why couldn't anybody stop him all year? Playoffs, he's torching teams. He is a problem for NFL defensive backfields. How do you even go to sleep the night before if you're a safety? Because your corner is going to get burned. If you're a safety,
that was all Eli Apple.
You're sitting here like, also, what did Eli Apple do? He said he didn't like New Orleans, and now everyone's anti him.
He spent the last 3 weeks shit talking all the guys who covered him, all the guys that he interacted with in these games, and then also New York and New Orleans, the previous teams that he played for no reason. But that's besides the point.
Okay, I wasn't as plugged into that situation. I just saw Eli Apple getting dragged through the mud this past 24 hours. But look, if you're a safety, you're like, okay, corner is going to be gone. How am I not going to get burned by him also? What do? You just watch film? You pray? Stretch out a little more the next day? What do? He's too talented. He's too good. He's too good. Eastern Washington, build the statue now. He doesn't need to play any more NFL football. Build it now.
Well, the thing that I saw was that his number 10 jersey needs to be retired easily.
Oh, what? Eastern Washington?
Yeah.
That's the number you wore there?
I think so.
Let me look that up.
I'm going to look it up too.
Make sure it was in the teens. Oh, 10.
No, he wore 10. Yeah. He wore 10. Still, guy needs to get his jersey needs to be
retired. Those Eastern Washington uniforms are so clean.
I know. It's crazy to think about that this guy is an FCS guy, and it makes me so freaking happy.
No, everybody in the FCS should be happy, even if you're Eastern Washington's biggest fan rival. If you're like, we had receivers that got snubbed and could have been doing the same thing, just sit there and be like, wow, that's a dude that is putting on for the entire college football subconference. That's D1 AA right there in front of you, sitting right there in your face, saying, hey, they found me. Go ahead. You can not play for 3 years and try that out. I played for 4, and now I'm in the NFL. It's just a really good example for if you're good enough, they'll find you no matter where you're at.
And speaking of being found no matter where you're coming from. We have a very talented crop of guys that are going to be attending the combine this year coming from the FCS. They announced a full list. I'm going to very obnoxiously read through that list, and then we're just going to provide our thoughts to wrap up today's show. So the full list of guys here that we have: Brown quarterback E.J. Perry, Fordham offensive lineman Nick Zakel, Idaho defensive lineman Noah Ellis, Montana State linebacker Troy Anderson, Nichols wide receiver DeGene Dixon, North Dakota offensive lineman Matt Wiletsko, North Dakota State offensive lineman Cordell Volson, NDSU wide receiver Christian Watson, Northern Iowa wide receiver Isaiah Weston, Northern Iowa offensive lineman Trevor Penning, Sam Houston. I was so close. Sam Houston DB Zion McCullum, South Carolina State DB Kobe Durant, SDSU running back Pierre Strong, CLA quarterback Cole Kelly, Southern Utah offensive lineman Braxton Jones, and then lastly, Chattanooga offensive lineman Cole Strange. So the one just takeaway I want to address first, I think the only notable snub I can think of is the fact that Jaquez Ezzard did not make it on here. And for me, Isaiah Weston's a good player. He's a good prospect, but I would argue that Ezzard would be a little bit more deserving of the invite than Weston.
Where's the Queen Glass? I thought he had a ton of buzz.
Yeah, Aquil, that one's another one too that I'm a bit surprised about too. I completely forgot about him. He was at the HBCU combine, and I would have thought that his performance. I mean, maybe there was not a lot of media coverage of that because I don't think media was allowed in.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible that he didn't do well enough, and his lack of quality performance might have kept him out. But that's a good point. I think Aquil would have gotten in too.
Who's the? He must be an underclassman, right?
Who?
The running back whose father stuck up for him on our YouTube page.
Pierre Strong, he's on here.
Other one. There was another.
Quay Holmes.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah, sorry I blanked on that one. Is he underclassman?
No, but he's the well, it doesn't matter if you're underclassman or not. You get invited regardless.
Is he on here? Am I missing him?
He's not on here, but
why isn't he on here? Who else are they? I know it's a good. The running back class isn't awful this year. I know. God, he should be on there.
It's tough to make it in as a running back this year. It's props to Pierre Strong for getting in. I would have been pissed if he didn't, but it's good that he made it in there.
I mean, Quay Holmes has to be getting looks.
He is. I just don't think he's as highly sought after because there's a really good running back class.
Yeah, I know. I see interchangeable names every. I just wake up and there's more people that I follow that like the Falcons that are doing mock drafts, and everyone has a different running back. You know, the Spiller from Texas A&M, they had Breece Hall. I'm seeing all this stuff. I'm like, I don't think where's Julius Chestnut at? Where my guys at? I take Quay Holmes right now. I take him right now.
You want your James Robinson, Elijah Mitchell? Is that what you want?
Oh, I'd love it. Need it. Maybe
it'll happen. Sean, just to throw out there some guys, though, that I'm looking forward to watching. So if we're just talking about like the pure athletes, the two guys that I want to see the most is I want to see what Troy Anderson is going to test out, like his vertical, his 40 and all that stuff. And the same thing with Christian Watson. So Troy Anderson, I'm projecting probably going to be like a 4 or 5 guy. And then Christian Watson, we are hearing a lot of low 4.4s is probably going to come from the big Bison receiver. So those two guys are going to test out at the gym. And I don't think there should be any surprise with that.
I think Watson should defer the 40-yard dash and just do a 100-yard dash. I think that's what he should do. I think he said, nope. He should say, nobody on this field can run 100 yards faster than me. I would put money on it too. I am actually, it's tough. That Kentucky receiver is really fast.
Not Ron. It's Rondell Moore's brother. Oh my God.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Why did you great hurdle play in the last week?
What? Rondell Moore?
Yeah. I think yeah. I like him a lot. But look, Watson should defer 40 and run 100 because that dude, when he gets going, nobody's going to touch him. His legs are too long. He runs with a perfect form, and I think he would actually doing only a 40-yard dash would snub him. But he's a freak athlete. He'll be fine. He'll be just fine. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know how much interest I have on the offensive lineman because it's the combine. I'll see what the bench reps. bench press reps are, see what the broad
so
jump is.
That's why I put down Cole Strange. I think out of all the offensive linemen, I think Cole Strange, after seeing what he did at the Senior Bowl, I feel like we're gonna get like a stupid number on the bench for him. I feel like
needs
he's
to
gonna
run
be
like a 4.9 with his frame. Though
he
needs to run a sub 5
guy though. I don't think he's a 4.9 guy.
I understand, but he's
pretty clunky.
He plays like Kelsey, and you want him to play like Kelsey. If you want a maneuverable, smart center, you want him to play just like Jason Kelsey. And he has got the height. He's got a very similar frame. He needs to be able to run that.
He's probably a lot stronger coming out than Kelsey was, though.
Yeah, but Kelsey's athleticism, you can't be just a little bit strong. You have to be either diesel tank, Maurice Pouncey, no one's going to move me, or you have to be, I'm so much smarter and quicker than everybody that I can reach a defensive tackle that outweighs me by 60 pounds. I can get myself in a position and then hold them off for that much time. So that's going to be interesting. I got to see his. I'll be locked in on him. The tackles, just focus on your footwork.
Yeah,
just have good footwork, and then you're fine.
Right. Don't look sloppy and don't run a bad 40.
Don't look like everybody else did when Laramie Tunsil was doing his combine stuff, and he looked like the best offensive line prospect I've ever seen, and all the other tackles couldn't move their feet. I'm like, this is a bad look for everybody else. Because Tunsil's just doing, boom, 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 boom. He's just doing his steps nice and smooth, and he's being athletic, and everybody else is just jerking their heads back and I'm leaning, they're bending over, they don't even let a pass rusher. I'm like, God, stay calm. But I don't know. It would be dripping out of the back of my pants if I was in that position. It's disgusting. I'm sorry.
What? I didn't think we were.
If I knew everybody was going to be watching me do my drills, it's almost a certitude I would just fall down. Done these drills 1,000 times, maybe more.
Just fall down and then not get up.
I don't know what happened. I think there's a soft spot in this turf. Nope.
We're done. Just call it. We're done today.
Your heel got caught on your other heel. We've never seen that happen. Anderson, out.
I'm not leaving until everyone else leaves. I'm just going to stay here.
God.
Do the drill around me. The one thing I will say, though, a bit unexpected that Cole Kelly got invited. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks this year.
Unexpected for you, maybe.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
Who's been on the train?
You've been on the train.
I've been on the train.
I respect Cole Kelly.
I can't wait to see him throw 70-yard bombs.
Two thoughts here with him. One, I want to see how he does in these passing drills. I think he probably has the most to prove because he's going to be one of the most, in terms of the big media crowd and
when he outthrows your boy Carson Strong, I'm gonna laugh in your face.
Well, they're different quarterbacks. He's 6'7". My better question here, Sean, is does he one get asked to take some tight end reps, and two, does he take them? I just want him to take a couple. Just take a couple, please, Cole.
That's
just a couple.
Question. Well, would Troy Anderson get asked to take tight end reps? Why not?
Okay, but
hey, Troy Anderson should be a part of every single position group, except for the line. Actually, except for interior defensive linemen and offensive linemen, he should be with everybody.
Could you imagine if they had him do running back drills, quarterback drills, linebacker drills, safety drills, edge drills? He probably could.
He could. I promise you.
I bet you if he did all of them, he would finish with a respectable finish in all of them. And I think if you take out the quarterbacks, he would finish top 15 in terms of overall performance.
Oh, I bet he could sling it too. That dude, that's going to be interesting. His agent should just be like, hey, what are we doing day one? He's there. Day two, he's there. All day.
Just do the bit where, be like the hardo at practice. Do the bit where you don't even ask to do the extra drills. You just keep showing up and then just getting in line and then not saying anything.
I'd love to see that. Yeah. He should do that.
We are now starting the campaign, Troy Anderson for every combine drill.
Sorry, someone just honked with a weak ass horn.
We're done anyways, folks. That's going to be it from us. Combine soon. Next week we're probably going to have another interview, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss out, and we'll talk to you later.